let us move ahead. And Preeta is going to take us to a small activity to help us feel these emotions, to help us work through these emotions, and let's see how it goes. Preeta, over to you.
As Tanushree described the koshas, I put this image over here to give you an idea of what is the range around us, around our physical body that we can impact. But we are not necessarily aware of this, because this grid which is being shown over here is the electromagnetic influence that we can. So when we are in alignment, when we are actually aware of our thoughts, Tanushree started the discussion by asking, where is the mind? The mind is all over this whole, all these koshas put together. But where I put my attention is where my mind is. And when I'm not aware and when I'm not putting conscious attention, then my mind is everywhere. It's dispersed. But the more aware I become of where I'm putting my attention, I can actually impact my whole environment. It is called a biofield. So we have a biofield. And the more we are aware of our thoughts, we have some 60 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. We are not aware of all of them. If we were aware of all of them, we would probably go lunatic. But we are aware of a few thoughts which catch our attention. Now listen to the words, which catch our attention. But this attention is unconscious. It's not conscious attention. So we get driven by emotions. If I'm feeling happy and there is something outward making me feel happy, then I get driven by this emotion of happiness. And similarly with emotion of sadness. But we are not conscious, we are not centered. We are not in equanimous zone. So I like to use this grid. This grid may not be very clear to you because it's slightly on the smaller side, but you will see that at 250 hertz, these are in hertz, there's something called neutrality. Now we are not in a state. We are always in a flux. We are either in a happy state or we are in a sad state. So we are always oscillating between different emotions depending on outward triggers. But if we are centered, and the way I like to describe it is that when we become familiar with the space of neutrality, which is not feeling too happy or too sad, but having the freedom to visit those emotions and return to home. You can look at it as a home base. And how do we become familiar with the space? Bringing more and more attention to our awareness of breath. Our senses, the 5 senses that we have, and the breath, these are given to us as tools to be the master of our emotions. But unfortunately, because we are not aware, we get ridden by emotions. And many of us will say, oh, I'm too emotional. Or someone will say, I don't want to be emotional, because emotional is seen as a weak state. But actually, emotion is your power and is the strength that you have to feel all these emotions and yet not be weak, but be very strong. Because no emotion is bad. What we think of as negative emotions, and if you see over here in the grid, all these emotions of below neutrality, even courage, pride, anger, these are all lower in frequency, which means these are slower, sluggish, and find it difficult to move. So if I am in these lower red and orange zone, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame, if I feel these emotions very strongly and I operate from there, I'm not able to create that grid around me, which we saw in the previous image, because the energy is not moving. Emotion is also described as energy in motion. So the motion stops because there is sluggish movement. But when I am able to move up to the higher emotions, which are in the blue and violet zones, these are seen as expanded, which means the energy is moving fast. There is a speed and there is an ability to flow. So we take up more space. Now, when I am feeling like this, like suppose something has happened and it's created fear in me, I'm in that heavy zone. What do I do? As we are today, and we can write in the chat, when you are feeling any of these emotions, whether it's anger or intense desire or fear or grief or apathy or guilt, what do we typically do? How do we deal with those emotions? Can you put it in the chat box? Deflecting, denying, suppressing are our survival mechanisms, but they are not really empowering. To empower, like everybody who said, we sit with it, we breathe into it, we meditate, we write it down, we journal. These are obviously the best things to do. But why do we do these things? Because every emotion wants to be seen, wants to be felt, wants to be embraced without any judgment, without any labeling that it's a good or a bad emotion. So negative is only because it's a lower frequency. That's why it's in the negative grid. What is the best way of doing it? Now, rather than giving you some more gyan on it, I want you to experience it right now. So this is the activity that I'm going to make you do. So I would expect all of you, if you can be on camera, it's wonderful. But if you can't for any reason, it's okay. But just find yourself a place where you can sit down comfortably. Relax your body. It's very important to be aware of all the koshas at this point. So because the grossest is the body, first relax the body. Because the first thing that we do when we have any kind of unpleasant emotion, uncomfortable emotion, we tighten our muscles. And our breath becomes shorter and shallower. So first thing is relax your body. Just become aware of your body. Shoulders, neck, jaw, fingers, toes, eyes. These are very, very important to relax. So just take a moment and just become aware of your shoulders. Push your shoulders back so your shoulder blades come together, and do it all very slowly with great awareness of your body, as if all your attention is on that body part. Open your jaw and make funny faces, because this gets locked. This is where we lock our stress. Open wide, open, move it sideways. You will find that this portion is very tight. Then relax your fingers. Same thing, relax your toes. You can even just relax your neck, turn it in different directions very slowly. And now bring your attention to your breath. Bring your full attention to the beginning of your nostril and just feel the breath, the temperature and movement of the breath as it enters the nostril. Keep your attention with the breath as long as the breath stays in the body. The breath will give you the indication it wants to be released. Allow the breath to be released really slowly and deeply and fully, completely emptying out your lungs. Every time your attention goes to a thought or a mind raises a question, just bring your attention again back to where the breath is. Remember, you are not the breather. The breathing is happening. You are just aware that the breath is entering the body, staying in the body, and then wanting to be released. Now you're relaxed, keeping your eyes closed. Allow your mind to take you to that part of your life which you mentioned that you felt stuck in. Choose any one. Feeling overwhelmed, feeling overstressed, feeling the pressure of decision making, feeling the pressure of not winning success, not being able to successfully negotiate, or whatever is feeling overwhelming for you. allow the mind to bring up that memory, that incident. Feel you are doing that right now. You're feeling that emotion right now. So you are in that moment where that which causes you this sense of stuckness is happening. And as you are in that moment, notice how the body feels. Bring your attention to your body and just become aware where in your body are you feeling a sense of heaviness, tightness, hotness, any physical sensation which is not comfortable. It may not be very intense for everyone, it may be subtle. But just notice it. Where are you feeling it in the chest? Are you feeling it in the shoulders? Are you feeling in the neck or the back? And when you become aware, just put on a scale of 0 to 10, how intense does it feel? 10 being highly intense, 5 being moderate, and 0 to 2 being neutral. And when you put a number to whatever you're feeling, now just keeping your attention in that part of the body, direct your breath over there. You can even put your hand on that part of the body which is feeling heaviness. And as if your hand is a straw, and through the straw, the breath is being directed into that part of the body. Be very aware of the breath. Be fully with the breath. And just allow the breath to enter the body and through the palms, reach that part where you're feeling the heaviness. Stay there. And when you want to breathe out, open your mouth and exhale with a sigh. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through your open mouth with a sigh. Repeat it 3 or 4 times, staying aware of the physical heaviness or tightness in that part. And doing it till you become aware that that heaviness has become moderate or neutral. Mind will keep saying things, bringing up thoughts, just ignore. Just keep your attention on your breath and on that part of the body where you're feeling the heaviness or tightness, and breathing into it and releasing it. And when you feel a sense of relaxation, a sense of expansion, just breathe in gratitude for this emotion that came up and that you were able to express and release. Just stay with it for a few minutes. And whenever you feel that you are easy, the body is easy, the breath is easy, you can gently open your eyes. And if you have water handy, take a sip of water. So before I ask anyone to share their experience with this, Tanushree, can you put the presentation back up again? This is something that we have not been taught, but this is what we need to do. Feel the feeling fully by acknowledging it, by accepting it, by appreciating it, however dense, however tough that may be, embracing it and elevating it to a level that is expansive. And if I raise myself to the feeling of gratitude, you will find that your heart opens up, your breath becomes relaxed and slower, and your body becomes softer, your muscles become supple. So every time you feel tense, you can move up anywhere from neutrality upward to willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, whatever. But highest, in my opinion, is if you can bring in gratitude for the fact that you felt this emotion showed itself. Many times emotions get suppressed because we have subconsciously told our mind, I don't want to feel this emotion. I don't want to feel envy ever, because envy is a bad word. And I have been judged for being envious or jealous or angry or whatever. So every time that emotion comes up, subconsciously we suppress it and we deny it even to ourselves that I'm feeling like that. And here I can share an example with you with my own personal life. There was a situation where I was disappointed, upset, and even angry with a person. But because I am supposed to be this aware person and this person who works with emotional wellness, I would consider, no, I'm not angry. No, I'm not angry. One day I had to sit down and tell myself, yes, I am angry and I need to release this anger. Because otherwise we judge ourselves, I can't feel angry. How can I be angry? I mean, I'm this wonderful, elevated person who's always talking of gratitude and love and all the nonsense. How can I feel anger? And how can I even give myself permission to express it? So I don't have to go and express it to the other person. I don't have to come across as an angry person. But I have to admit it to myself that, yeah, I'm feeling angry. It may not be the best emotion to feel in that moment, but it has arisen. So it gives me something to do. It's my added to my to-do list that I have to work on this anger, which shows itself in subtle ways, and I have to learn to do all of this to that anger.
So I'm someone who does not believe in meditation and all those things. It's very new to me. So 3 days ago, I came across something similar. And when I actually practiced it, I saw a lot of relief. And this came to my mind today. I should start accepting myself, this problem, and start coming out. And this was what I had. And you exactly said that. And I was like, oh, this is what I was searching for. And then when you told how to overcome and how to, breathe in and all that, I got the answer that I was searching, and how to express gratitude for this problem, which I did not know before. And it really gave me relief, and I'm able to move now.
Thank you for sharing. That's so powerful. And I also want to bring in another point over here, which comes from Priya's sharing. When we have a problem with another person, we put the blame on the other person, that the other person was rude to me or said this to me or whatever. And so I got triggered. We have to relook at this. The trigger is already there in you. The other person is just a channel to show you that it's there. So whenever we have faced problem in interpersonal relationships, if we can just sit inside and say, okay, I felt angry with this person, but the anger is inside of me. So can I cut these cords of anger between me and the other person and just connect at the cord of acceptance and appreciation?
Now that you all had an experience of a positive emotion, maybe it's after a tiring day, maybe there was, there were debates at work, maybe there were discussions at home, and there are a lot of things. And now, after this session, you have kind of flowed into a space which you can say that feeling relaxed. Now, just let us decide one positive emotion, just one emotion or one feeling or one thought that you want to anchor within yourself. For example, you all, suggested that, I'm feeling stuck here, I'm feeling stuck here, I'm feeling stuck there. This is health, there is courage, and this and that. Which amongst this, like to overcome any of this stuck feeling, what is that one feeling, emotion, thought that you would like to anchor within yourself to overcome it? I'll give an example. For example, if I want confidence. I want confidence to face a crowd of people. So when I go on stage, I want confidence. I want to stand there confidently looking into the people's eyes, able to remember all the content that I wanted to share with this audience. But for some reason, the stage fear kind of gets over and I'm not able to do it. So in this case, the emotion, the feeling, or the thought that I want is confidence. So I will be taking you through a small activity on how to anchor this confidence. And any time in your life ahead, you can make use of this activity. I mean, the activity you don't need to do per se, but you, whatever anchor, you can use this anchor into any of the situations in your life which needs confidence. What I need all of you to do, you need to be on the camera so that I can watch you. If you cannot position your camera, still not a problem. Just do this. This has to be done standing up. This exercise has to be done standing up. Okay. So I'll just give a small instruction on this. We have to decide an action which we call as an anchor. For example, if I touch these two, the tips of the thumb and my index, the moment I do this, I will remember confidence. I'll remember about courage. So for you yourself, it should be something which is less obvious. It's not like you do like this and you feel confidence. If you are in a crowded place, if you are amongst people, you won't be able to do these things. So do something which is conspicuous, which only you know. It could be this. It could be tapping your feet. You know, just a tap on of your feet. Oh, sorry. Now you can see me.
Yes.
Yeah. So it could be a tap of your feet. It could be a small action like this, or it could be an action like this, but just one of the actions which reminds you that this is the anchor for confidence or optimism. Okay. Just decide this one anchor. And when I tell you to activate this, you will be using this action or that symbol or that tapping of the feet or anything like this. Okay. So just stand and have some space in front of you, which you can like step into. We'll be creating a small circle in front of you and we'll be stepping inside it. So just have that much enough space where you can stand and do this. You will not need a lot of space. Now just close your eyes. Everyone just close your eyes. And go to that one incident or situation in your life, anytime, anywhere, where you have experienced immense confidence and optimism. It could be as far as going into your childhood. It could be anywhere. Recent past, just yesterday, or till your childhood. One such incident or situation which reminds you of the state of confidence and optimism. As you go back to that time, just float down into your body then and see what you saw. See what you saw. Hear what you heard. Notice what you noticed at that time. And feel the feelings of being totally or extremely confident and optimistic. How did it feel? You might even want to smile, or you might even have that expression on your face, on your body right now. Now visualize a small circle in front of you. Just like with your finger, you can just draw a small circle in front of you. And step into this circle. Just take a step into the circle. And now put this feeling of confidence, optimism, fill up this circle with this feeling, with this thought, with the emotion that you have felt at that time when you felt extremely confident and extremely optimistic. Feel it in your body right now. And now activate the anchor you have decided for yourself. What is that action? Only with one hand or with a tap of your feet? When you are feeling that feeling in its peak, just do that action of anchor that you have decided for yourself. You can do it multiple times if you are tapping your feet. Just hold this feeling for 30 seconds. And just feel it in your body, around you, on your face, in your neck, shoulders, back, legs. That feeling is just feeding up completely. Do not tie your hands, uncross your legs or hands. And now, just open your eyes slowly and don't step out of the circle. Just go down to the floor, and as if you are lifting that circle up and putting it all over above your head, just like a cylinder around you. You are inside a hollow cylinder, and just lift this cylinder up and encompass it completely all around you over your head. Just soak the feeling of the state, and whenever you are ready, relax and step out of the circle. Just soak in this feeling and step out of the circle. What is the color of my top?
Green.
Okay. So now, just completing this activity once more, just stand up, those who are sitting. Just many of you told you're feeling stuck, negotiations, this, that, somewhere that issue comes. Just go and visualize in the future, there is one tough call which you are handling, and you have to go into this call either virtually or physically and have to speak to this client. And you want to bring this feeling or this emotion of confidence out when that call is happening. Just visualize a tough call, just like in the future. Just make that small circle in the future and step into that circle, and just visualize you having that tough conversation, that tough situation where you feel cramped, your body is, actually feeling that feeling of tightness, tense, worry, stress. And just activate whatever anchor you selected for yourself in that space. Activate the anchor that you decided for yourself in that space. And just visualize what happened after that. And whenever you feel comfortable, step out of that circle and you can sit back on the space.
Thank you, Tanushree. That was extremely powerful, how we learned to anchor our positive emotions. So what I would like to conclude with is that instead of looking at emotions as something which we should not be feeling, we should look at it as written over here. They are portals to our soul. So they are the gateway to growth. The more we not control as in suppress, but as much as we are not driven by the emotions, but we drive our emotions. So we choose, so if I'm feeling angry, allow the anger to arise and dissipate rather than either acting out of anger or denying that anger exists in me. And if I just bring your attention back to the first image that I showed of this electromagnetic space that we have, we do not occupy that space because we are always operating from some fear or some contracted energy. The more expanded we are, the more we are able to bring ourselves to higher frequency emotions, the more space we will be able to impact. And when we are impacted by other people's behavior, we have to pause and remember that that person is triggering me only because that trigger in me exists. So instead of putting the blame on the other person and saying that that person made me feel this way or that way, can I just pause and ask myself, what in me is feeling this and why? The other person is just pressing a button. That button exists in you. Reflect on this. And the more we reflect on this and the more we remove these buttons from our system, we'll find that other person's behavior will not trigger us. Let me put it that way. Yeah, Tanushree?
Yes, as simply as we can say this, we all both, and in fact, we all understand that it is difficult to put in practice, but Rome was not built in a day. Please build the foundation step by step. By itself, emotions are not bad, they're neutral. It's the meaning that we attach to these emotions makes it good or bad. So today's session, we hope that you are able to take away that small awareness that we wanted to create in you, is that emotions can, they can open the gateway to a lot of new opportunities, but emotions by themselves are not bad. It is how we look at them and how we add meaning to it makes it good or bad. With this, we come to the end of the session. Thank you so much for being patient with us.